Hey guys. All right, so as you're getting into Unit 2, there are some very important things that we need to go over. Actually, let me move this one down. All right, so Unit 2 has almost been entirely replaced. And most of it, not all of it, but most of it is just there as a placeholder. This is the last unit before our end of course exam, as we have spring break next week, and then we come back and just have 2 weeks before your end of course exam. So we're getting very close to that time. So let me walk you through what you need to do in Unit 2 and how that works. You'll note that this is regular English 10 lesson mods. They are identical for pre-AP English 10 lesson mods for this unit, okay? All right, so you'll notice, number one, that you have no Cornell notes required for this unit. So cheers, yay, no Cornell notes. And then you'll want to make sure you pay attention to this important note, all right? And that's basically what I just explained to you. It's almost completely modified. The things that are left in Connexus are just there to hold a spot. So for example, Lesson 1, Intro to Indian Lit. This lesson has been left as a placeholder. Please just check through it, mark it complete, and move to the next lesson. I've removed the quick check from this. All right, so Lesson 2, you will actually do this one. Okay, so the Ramayana, you're actually going to read the Ramayana, do what's there. You'll, of course, have some mods. For example, you'll omit number 2 and ignore the 6 trait power right. Your writing for this has been replaced. Lessons 3 and 4 have been skipped. Lesson 5, okay, this is where you would normally do your draft for the unit. We're going to do an EOC timed essay instead. So, the thing is, right, that you have to take your essay within the 5-hour limit, but you also have to do your reading and your editing and revising sections, short answers, all within that same time period. So you're going to have just a limited amount of time to do your essay. So I want you to get used to writing under pressure. So you have the 2014 release prompt from the EOC last year, the essay that we didn't do when we did the benchmark, so it's here. So you're going to want to open that. So that's here. That's the prompt you'll be writing on. So think about everything that you've learned this year related to persuasive writing. We've been working on persuasive writing since the beginning of the school year. So remember Oreo, remember ethos, pathos, logos, rhetorical devices, Monroe's sequence, proof types, thesis statements, all that jazz. Decide which combination works best for you, right? You don't want to try to use everything. And then make sure you really pay attention to what the prompt is asking you, okay? So for this essay, you have to handwrite it unless you have some kind of modification that says you won't have to handwrite on the test. That's only a few people. But to handwrite it, you're going to go to this paper. This is your line composition page. You're going to print this off. This one page is all you get for your EOC, okay? Your entire persuasive essay has to fit on here. You can't write 2 lines per line. You have to just, one set of words per line there, okay? You just get that one page. So you need to print that off, and you can do that by either when you open it, you'll have a print icon option, or you can hit download and then open it and print it, okay? But you have to handwrite it. And then when you finish, you'll scan it, and you'll submit the essay to the Dropbox that's in Lesson 5, okay? Make sure your handwriting is clear. I will expect it to be rather small because you'll have a lot that you'll need to put on there. Feel free to draft out your paper first and then write your final copy on the lined paper. But your final has to completely fit on that one page. The other part of this is that I want you to time yourself. Give yourself no more than 90 minutes from the moment you read the prompt to finishing your writing. Okay, now you don't have to scan it and submit it to me within that 90 minutes. But from start to finish, that includes brainstorming, your draft, and your final polished essay. Give yourself 90 minutes, an hour and a half. I want you to mark your start and end times at the top of your essay. So I started at 10 a.m., I finished at 11:30. Okay, that's what I want to see. If you aren't able to finish in those 90 minutes, then I want you to give me what you've got, what you are able to do in 90 minutes. Again, if you have a modification that gives you extra time, then talk to me and we'll adjust that 90 minutes. But most students will have that 90 minutes. The rubric is here, so you can look at the rubric. This is exactly how you'll be graded on your EOC. Okay, so you can see that rubric. So look through that. That's the rubric I will use to grade your essays that you submit. All right, so lesson 6. This lesson is just a placeholder. Click through, check it complete. I've removed the quick check. Instead, you're going to look over some sample writings that TEA has posted. So you're going to go here to this link. And then I've completed a quiz that has you kind of look through those. This is a custom assessment quiz. It is not in Connexus. All right, so you're going to, it's a Google form, 2014 release prompts quiz. So it has you looking at specific essays, okay, and then giving me some feedback on those. So that's that. You get down to lesson 9, you're going to do that as is. Lesson 10 is just a placeholder. Click it, complete. You're not going to have a test over what's in Connexus this unit. Lesson 11 was a test in Connexus. It's been completely replaced, but this is going to be on an as-needed basis. We hopefully have met over your end-of-course exams. Your benchmarks and what you did last year on your end-of-course exams. So before you take this is the 2013 released EOC. I'm not going to make everybody take the whole thing, okay, as practice. Whatever areas your last benchmark showed you were having issues with, I'm going to have you take those particular areas again, okay, but not the whole thing. So before you take that, send me a webmail and I'll tell you which portions you need to take. All right, but it will be a test grade. Again, you're not taking the whole thing. You're only going to be focusing on specific areas for the most part. 1 or 2 people I'm going to want to take the whole thing, but most people just, you might just do editing and revising, or I might just want you to do the open-ended responses. Okay, so there's that. And then your final, instead of doing a final essay, you're going to do another 90-minute write, and it all works the same as the earlier 90-minute write. You have a 2013 release prompt this time, okay? So that way we're getting this last practice before your test, and I'm going to be able to give you some great feedback, but I don't want you to spend a ton of time on it, okay? So that's what we're working on. Let me know. I can understand that this would be confusing. Remember that if it says, this is just a placeholder as is lesson 10, you just click through, click it complete, do what's in lesson mods. All right, guys, that's it. Contact me if you have questions. I'd be happy to help.